teacher for 17 years, and I worked at a wonderful school called Palmer Lane Elementary. And shout out to any leopards out there. A lot of you have probably heard my story before, but I'm going to tell it again. In 2019, Greg Abbott signed HB 3, a bill he promised would be a historic school funding bill, on the stage at our campus. They chose us because we were a highly rated 6-star Title I school. And just a few years later, in 2023, we were facing closure because of a district budget crisis. We were really lucky that our school board ultimately didn't close our campus that year, but our financial problems didn't end then. Without an investment from the state, and our public schools will almost certainly be there again soon. This problem is not unique to Pflugerville ISD. In fact, 63% of districts across our state are facing a budget deficit for next year. And it's not because of wasteful spending, and it certainly isn't because of high teacher salaries. It is due to lack of funds from the state of Texas, which ranks 41st in per student funding. It is because our state leaders are actively working to destroy public schools in the name of school choice. Yeah. And it is because Greg Abbott is holding money hostage from our public schools until his voucher bill gets passed. For years, Abbott has championed these vouchers that are projected to take at least $1 billion from our public schools while putting $4 billion of public money into private schools by 2028. These are vouchers that our own Texas Legislative Budget Board says will go to mostly students who are currently enrolled in private schools, and not the poor students who Representative Buckley claims are stuck in failing public schools. And I want to be clear about something. I am not against private education or homeschooling or any other options our parents in Texas have. If you talk to any teacher, not just me, that if we thought that these vouchers would do anything to improve Texas education, we would be for them. We want more than anything to improve this current system, which is one for all students. But we already have the data to prove it won't. Experts sat in front of that committee a few weeks ago and told them flat out, voucher programs do not improve educational outcomes. And yet, this bill still got voted out of committee on Thursday. They could limit vouchers so that wealthy people can't receive them, but reps like the author of HB 3, Brad Buckley, refuse to do so. If they want to give wealthy people who want to send their kids to private schools a tax break, why don't they just say so? Yeah. Abbott has been in charge of this state since 2015. If our schools are failing, why hasn't he tried to fix them? I truly believe the reason is his goal all along has been to make people lose faith in their local public schools so they could privatize education in Texas. So they over-tested our students with a flawed and developmentally inappropriate STAR test. They passed requirements for districts that they didn't fund, causing them to struggle financially. They exhausted, I'm exhausted, are you guys exhausted yet? And vilified teachers to the point that we are quitting in record numbers. Yeah. They caused this educational crisis and then told people the only way to fix it was with vouchers and school choice. To be clear, school choice exists in Texas already. I'm not just a teacher. Today I stand here as a mother of a 9-year-old little boy named Jack, and he attends school in Pflugerville ISD. I no longer work there, and we don't live there, but we decided it was the best place for him, so we applied for an out-of-district transfer. It was easy, it was free, and he is currently thriving at River Oaks Elementary in Miss G's class. These transfers are available in nearly every district in the state of Texas. We already have choice in our public school system. We do not need vouchers. Education is not a business. Students aren't products. Competition from private schools will not make me or any other teacher work harder, because we already work as hard as we can every single day for our kids. Those kids are the only motivation we need. A raise would be great, but what would help us even more is smaller class sizes and less high-stakes testing. Teachers did not create this crisis. We're just doing our best to operate within a system that was set up for failure and trying our best to give our students the best we can, no matter where they came from, the best opportunity to succeed. That is our job. I attended my first Save Texas School rally in 2011. I was a finalist for District Teacher of the Year that year, and I was also facing losing my job because, you guessed it, we had a district budget crisis. I cannot believe that I am still here fighting for this. I started my fight then, and I will continue. I was at that marathon education committee meeting a few weeks ago that lasted 22 hours. In hour 20, I finally got to speak at 4:30 in the morning. I spoke for my 2 minutes, I went home, I took a 2-hour nap, and I went to work and taught that day. I did not get into teaching to become an advocate for public schools. I didn't get in teaching to become involved in politics. I became a teacher so that I could teach. But for some reason, our elected officials seem to be dead set on making that as difficult as possible. But we have a voice, and you can use your voice. I urge you today to call your state reps and tell them we do not need vouchers. What we need is fully funded public education for the 5.5 million Texas children in our public schools. That is what my students deserve. That is what my son deserves, and